Hello, YouTube world, and welcome to another episode of the Travel with T-Bone Show. I am your host, T-Bone, on a Friday afternoon here in China. So I'm in Guangzhou, and I'm going to give you a little bit of advice on WeChat groups and the importance of networking as an ESL professional. So in this video, I want you to understand how WeChat groups function, so that way you know how they work, what to look out for, and then maybe make a decision for yourself on how you want to approach ESL teaching, and let's get started. So first off, WeChat groups, the number one thing you have to know about WeChat groups is they are limited in size. Now, this is very important because it creates exclusivity. Now, what do I mean by that? Say there's 499 people in a WeChat group. They are limited to 500 people per group. You, your friend Tom, and your friend Jerry all want to get into this same WeChat group, right? So the three of you have to try to join, and only one of you will get in, right? So this is something you have to think about. So in some cases, this exclusivity means people who run the groups might start charging money for you to get into groups. This can be especially true if the jobs that you're looking for are actually good jobs, right? Something to bear in mind when searching for jobs, you might have to pay 5 RMB to get into a group. Now, that might not seem like much, right? That's about 80 cents, but they make a hefty profit when they do this over a few hundred times, right? So that's something to think about, is the size of the groups definitely plays a factor, and it creates a whole lot of different culture within it. Second is the groups are always changing, right? Since there's a limited amount of size, this creates change. Moderators and administrators of WeChat groups will delete people. They'll usually do something to make it known that you're still active within this group. So that could be something like post this message, change your name to have this within it, etc., etc. Now, that means that people will be removed and you'll have a chance to get back in before the group limit size is filled up. Finally, groups that are WeChat based are usually location dependent. Groups are usually based around a big city in my experience, whether that's Guangzhou and whether that's Shanghai or Beijing. It always is location dependent because the size, once again, number one thing, the size limits the amount of people in a group to 500. Now, this is something to be aware of because when you're choosing a location to live in China, generally I think you'd have to choose one location and move there before you have access to all of the groups within the city and smaller local groups in the surrounding areas where you could also find better jobs. Now, there's going to be exceptions to this last part. What I mean by that is that you might be in a Guangzhou group and someone from Beijing is posting a job posting because they want people to come up into Beijing and vice versa, right? So what's my point? My point with this is WeChat is not the be-all end tool. WeChat does have a great way for you to meet people, but it's limited in size, and its limited size creates an exclusivity bit. Because of that, it's always, the groups are changing and they're location dependent because of the size of the groups. So what you need to do as an ESL professional, which is the most important part, is not over rely on WeChat, but create a balance between WeChat and the people you know in your area and network. Because your name, your reputation as a teacher, how well you're liked, this is very important in China and in many other places as well, is very, very important. If you have a reputation of being a bad, unreliable teacher who's not going to show up to work, your networking points, I would say, goes down. But if you show up on time, work hard, provide good English lessons, friendly, and are pretty well liked, then you can shoot to the top and start making a good chunk of money. So this is what I have to say about WeChat groups. Use it as a tool, but remember, it's a tool that can be harnessed by very skilled people. If you like this video, give it a like, leave some comments below. If you didn't like this video, give it a like anyway, and leave some more comments. That's all. See ya, and have a good day.